Hi everyone! Welcome to the very final Yoga with Amy live, which we've been doing every single morning from 7 till 7:30. And it's been really good fun, and I hope that whether you've managed to catch it live or whether you've been doing it a bit later, I really hope that these videos have given you just something to do every day. And it doesn't have to be half an hour going forward. You can do sort of 10 minutes of yoga, just a little bit of settling in, working with the breath each morning. But it really does help to settle you and just to help you feel a little bit more bouncy as you head into work. And I find that both my body and my mind benefit from just doing a little bit of yoga every day. So let's get cracking on this one. Today is Fun Friday, and we're going to become trees today. So get your tree heads on, and we'll start by sitting down. I've got the sofa behind me, which I'm going to sit on, but you could sit on a chair if you have one. So just come to seated and get yourself settled. I've left the door open. Oh my God. There we go. And as usual, coming to the front of the chair, so your bum is just sticking off the end of it. I'm going to take my slippers off, planting your feet into the ground, making sure you can feel the toes, feel the heels on the earth, and with the legs at a perpendicular angle, just using that little bit of weight down into the ground to help you then rise up through the legs and through the upper body so that you feel nice and alert but not tense in the upper body. And we've done a few different types of breathing this week, but what I haven't introduced is one of my favorites, which is with the eyes just gently closed, if that feels okay. You can start to inhale and raise the breath up the body, but I like to visualize the breath coming all the way from the toes on an inhale, traveling all the way up the body and to the crown of the head. And then on an exhale, imagine the breath traveling from the crown of the head, spreading all the way down through the body, through the arms, the torso, through the legs, and then out through the toes. So take a few moments now to breathe in that way. And we don't have to take huge breaths, it's just working with your natural breath. Sending the breath all the way up the body through toes, legs, pelvis, torso, arms, neck, and head. And sending the breath down from the very top of the head all the way down through the body and out through the toes. And as you do that, just notice whether you have any sensations in the body, anything uncomfortable. Notice where those areas of discomfort are. And then you might want to do a couple of movements to just ease out and just try and relax off in those areas. So whatever it is that you need to wiggle, then you can wiggle. And notice as well, as we just take a moment to be still and to focus on ourselves, just notice if you've got any particularly strong feelings this morning. Notice maybe how tired you are. Notice how happy and lively you feel this morning. For anyone in the UK, it's a really beautiful, beautiful sunny morning with completely blue sky. So that always makes me feel quite happy. And then we're going to make our way over to our mats. So if you'd like to join me over here. And as I've said, our focus today is going to be on becoming trees. What am I doing with these doors this morning? Clearly far too relaxed on a Friday. There we go. So coming to your mat, and I'm going to just show you, you won't be able to see my head, that's fine, I'm getting used to that now. So I'm going to bring you to the mat, but we're going to stand up for a moment and we're just going to wobble from side to side, forwards and backwards. We're going to start embodying a tree, becoming a tree, planting our feet into the ground, and then coming to settle here. Inhaling and exhaling in our mountain pose. So we've got the feet on the ground and the hands by the side. And we've again got that gentle lift through the body. So those natural curves of the back as we just stand here in tree. And then we're going to really mindfully and carefully move down to the floor. So moving as if you're an old tree. So we're just going to move down towards the ground. Take it really slow. And come to lying down on your back. And then as we lie down here, we're going to pretend that we're still standing up. So we're going to have the feet flexed. And imagine that your feet are planted into the ground and then you're rising up through the legs, rising up through the body, and you've got the natural curves of the spine here. So a little bit of a gap where your lower back is. And then you've got the thoracic part of your spine down, so that's the upper part here. You've got a little lift where your neck is, and then you've got the head down on the mat. So those are the natural curves of the spine. We're opening out the palms and we're coming to Tadasana, but we're lying down. And again, just draw the breath up from the toes to the crown of the head and then back down the body. And then we're going to gently bring both of the knees in and give yourself a big hug, rounding through the spine. Rock from side to side. And then inhale. And just as we did yesterday, we're going to have a really big stretch across the whole of the body, reaching the fingertips to the back of the room and the toes to the front of the room. And then bringing the knees in again, giving yourself a hug. And then stretching out. And you might want to sigh it out, which is lovely to do. So as you inhale, breathe in, expand the body, expand the mind. Exhale, let it go. Bring the arms back down by the side of the body. And we're going to take the knees up now. And we're going to start lying down on our side. And then we're just going to raise one leg to open up here. And then we're going to start to roll over. This is supposed to be quite a fun little move. I always run out of space on this wall, so I'm going to move. So coming to the middle of the mat, we're going to roll over onto this side. So on the left side, then you're going to take the arm out and then the legs follow. And then you come to about center here, and then you continue to fold like a book in the other direction. Inhale, bring the left arm to the other side of the mat and open up the legs here, and just let it be a really natural movement. So we're just opening and closing. We're like a little tree in the wind, opening and closing. And then you can start to challenge yourself in the twist by trying to keep the shoulders down here and then just moving the legs. And maybe when the legs come to the left, this time you can take your head to the right. And then you can move the legs in a really smooth motion, bringing the legs to the right and the head to the left. That feels really nice as well. If you try and bring that top knee down, you can feel a really nice stretch along the side of the body. Inhale, and then exhale, come center and back round to the left. Oh, taking my head the wrong way, I'm too chilled. And then we'll come back to center on an inhale. We'll just wiggle the bum here. We wiggle the shoulders and get comfy. And then we will plant the feet into the ground, plant the hands into the ground. We'll just do a little bit of a bridge like we did yesterday. So we're going to inhale, bring the hips up into our little bridge and bring the hips back down. And this time when you inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Keep the gaze upwards. Exhale down. Inhale up. Engaging all the muscles in the legs as we press into the feet. Engaging the glutes and then down. Okay, so give yourself a little cuddle, rock and roll. And we're going to rock up into our boat, which I think we did on one of the days. So rocking up, and I'll come back a bit to show you. We're in our boat, which means that we're lifting from the sit bones. We're using the weight of the body down in the sit bones to then let us rise up through the torso. Legs can be wherever is most comfy. So you might have your legs down, you might have your legs up. You might be brave and want to take your arms away. Really feel it working the core. And then come to some kind of seated position. So you can have the legs crossed if that's comfy. Or I find it's always nice to go onto the knees. We can even take a pillow and just place it underneath our legs or between our legs here, just to make this kneeling position more comfy, but we're not going to be here long. Then you're going to inhale, take the arms all the way up. You can bring the palms together. You can have a little bit of a back bend here, which I'll show you. So the spine is in neutral. We've got those natural curves, and then we're going to inhale, lift, exhale down, and then we're going to just do a little bit of a stretch from side to side. So we're going to inhale, arm comes up. We're a swaying tree now, planting the right hand into the ground and just really feeling that stretch along the left side of the body, create space around the neck. Hopefully some of these moves are a little bit familiar to you now, since we've done them once before. Inhale, create space. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come back up. And now, feeling the slowness of the tree, we're going to come up into standing. So just really, really slowly. An old oak tree, we're going to come up to standing. And then you're going to use a wall for the next bit. So hopefully you're near a wall or a table, just something that you can hold on to fairly comfortably. So placing your left hand on the wall. And what you're going to do is you're first going to try and make your weight even between both feet, just as we did a few moments ago. So actually take your hand off for a moment and we'll just find the balance first in our Tadasana pose, arms by the side, a gentle rising up through the spine. Then take your hand onto the wall and we'll bring the weight onto the left leg. And then we'll start to raise the right leg up. And then if you're feeling brave, you might want to take your hand off the wall and just see how that feels. And place the hand back on the wall. And then we're going to try our three tree positions. So first one, so we're just going to have the heel balanced on the shin of the other leg. And so a tree pose is all about getting one leg to move out, but it'll just depend on your range of motion in this hip. So this is our first position. You can have your hand against the wall to help you here, or you might want to just challenge yourself. Engage the body, bring everything into the center and rise up here. So we've got our toes down, we've got our heel balancing on the shin of the left leg. And this might feel really good, really strong, really balanced. And we're going to take the breath all the way up and all the way down the body. So we're grounding down and then we're rising all the way up. So you might want to stay here. You might want to take the leg and place it onto the shin of the left leg. So you've got that entire sole of the foot on the shin of the left leg, but don't have it on the knee. That's the important thing. You can have the arms by the side. You can have the arms in prayer position at the heart. And then if you feel okay to do so, you could even bring that foot a little bit higher and place it on the thigh of the left leg and press the left leg towards the right foot. So we're pressing into all 5 toes of the left foot and the heel. We're rising up through the left leg and we're not locking out in the left knee. And if you feel really crazy, you can do your arms in the air and continue to send the breath all the way up from the toes to the crown of the head. You can be a floaty tree, a waving tree in the wind if you wish. That's fine. Exhale, the arms come down. Gently lower the leg down. Then you might want to circle out that foot. And then come to face the other direction. Find your grounding Tadasana pose here. Grounding down through the toes and rising up through the body. Take your right hand onto the wall. Begin to move your weight into the right leg. And just have a play with it here. So just start to bring that leg up and bring the leg out. So not moving it with the hand, just noticing how that feels. And then you might want to take your hand off the wall and just challenge yourself to this balance, just with the leg up in the air. Rounding down through the right leg. Then you can stay by the wall, but I'll turn around just to show you. So with the weight in the right foot and not looking out in that right leg. So when we take the weight onto the leg, this is my right one here. So when we take the weight onto it, if we're locked out like this, we're not going to feel very steady. So we need to have a very slight bend in the knee to make that leg a bit more buoyant, that's the word, buoyant. And then we'll feel like we can really rise up when we lift that left leg off the ground. Where am I going? So we have the right foot planted down into the ground, all 5 toes on the heel. We feel really nice and strong in the right leg. And we start to bring the left heel onto the bottom of the left leg, the toes on the ground. Hands wherever you like, down by the side, hips up in the air, whatever you feel more tree-like doing. And then you're going to send the breath up from the toes to the crown of the head and send it back down again. Feel really strong and connected with the whole of your body. So you're really scooping everything in towards the center to get this strong tree pose. You may want to take the heel onto the lower half of the right leg, so onto the shin, not onto the knee. Inhale, send the breath up and down. And I forgot to mention a very important point is that you need to find something in front of you that can be your point of focus for this, because it really does require a lot of focus. So we're grounding down into that right leg. And then pressing, if you've gone for the full tree with the left leg on the right thigh, then you're pressing your right thigh in towards the center, but everything should be gathering in. So your abs should be gathering in towards the center. Then you can do some crazy things here with your tree. And then very, very slowly, starting to move the left leg down. Oh, and you do feel it in the ankle, so you may wish to circle off the ankle here a little bit. And so that is one type of tree that we can do. But did you know that in yoga there is another type of tree which is even more exciting to do? And this is upside down tree. So are we ready to become upside down trees this morning on a Friday? I don't know, let's try it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to either a chair or a wall. And this can be, or a desk actually, the desk might be a better idea here for me to show you, is just as we were working on our downward dogs on Tuesday, we're going to press our hands into whatever we've got our hands on. So if you are on a wall, obviously you'll be like this, but that's fine. And then we're just going to walk the feet out. So we might start about here. Then we're going to walk the feet out with the knees nice and bent and everything's nice and buoyant, pressing the hands down. And then we're going to aim to, with the legs bent, stretch all the way. Oh, I think I'm going to sneeze. I don't think I've got through a single video without sneezing this week because of the hay fever. So pressing into the fingers, and then with the knees nice and buoyant, you're aiming to stretch the back. So as you start to straighten the legs, you're pushing your bum up into the air as if nobody's watching, pressing into the fingertips, and then rotating the shoulder blades down the back so that you've got lots of lovely space around the neck. And the really important thing here is the hands. So as long as you can feel that you've got all 5 fingers pressing into your table or your chair, and especially your first finger and thumb, and that allows you to engage the muscles of the arms and bring the shoulders down the back. You can see that working here with me. And then make sure that you've still got a nice strong foundation with the feet. And then just, if you can, pressing the sit bones up even higher to get a bigger stretch and lengthen through the spine. I'm going to have to come and blow my nose. And then again in this position, sending the breath from the toes all the way up to the crown of the head and back. Very good. Then we're going to do something potentially quite dangerous that I've only tried very briefly in this room. We're going to bring our mats underneath, I'll come to show you, underneath a chair. This could all go wrong because I really don't think I've practiced this enough. But that's the fun thing about live video. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to come to all fours on our mats, and then we're going to press into the fingers just as we did when we had our hands on the table. So coming to all fours, coming to quite a short tabletop, and then you're going to take each leg up onto the chair and maybe have a little practice of your plank here. So again, rotating the shoulder blades down the back so you feel really nice and strong in the body, and then bending the knees. And we're going to aim to come back into a downward dog, but here with my legs on the chair. So we're going to tuck the toes under. Remember, this is Fun Friday. Pressing into the hands, we're going to start to raise the knees up. Please do this with lots of caution and maybe get somebody to spot you in it. Obviously, if you prefer, you can come into a regular downward dog and then exhale down. So to have a little bit of a rest, we'll bring the hands forward, bring the knees down onto the mat and just come into child's pose here. So what I'm trying to aim for is to get that feeling, sorry, I'll move my slippers that way, to get that feeling of being upside down, and it prepares us for our handstand, which is upside down tree. And it's about having all that strength in the arms, which is why this is a really good one to practice. So we have hands on the mat, and then we start to bring our legs up. We might be in a kind of plank position first, and then sending the hips back maybe scooting the hands back. So the more we bring our hands back, the sharper the angle will be for our downward dog. So you might want to challenge yourself if you felt quite strong in the last pose. But remember to always plant the fingers into the ground, rotate the shoulders down, and feel really nice and strong in the arms, not locking out through the arms, but really nice and strong here. Pressing the toes into the chair, lifting the body. Maybe we're more upside down now. Maybe we want to step the feet forward and become even more upside down. So it might look like your upper body is doing a handstand. And can we still send the breath from the toes to the crown of the head and back down again? Can we keep the arms nice and strong? Can we keep pressing into that first finger and thumb? Can we take one more breath here? And then lower the knees down back onto the chair. Bring the hands forward. And the knees down. And then coming to rest in some kind of child's pose. So sometimes it's nice to have the arms forward, or arms by the side. And then we can have a little bit of fun now. I'm going to take my mat to the wall. So obviously there's different levels of practicing handstand. Our upside down tree, as they call it in Sanskrit. So I'll just explain that tree in Sanskrit, which is the one we did like this, is Vrikshasana. And then handstand is Ardha Mukha Vrikshasana. So it's an upside down facing tree. And if you want to keep practicing with the chair to get that feeling of being upside down and becoming really strong in the arms, if your arms are kind of all over the place and your body doesn't feel very sort of connected, then please keep trying with the chair one. But I'm just going to show you some fun things you can do with your mat against the wall. Place your hands down onto the mat, and we're going to do little bunny hops. So you come into a downward dog here, and I'm really sorry for the angle. Placing your hands down and really pressing into both hands, and you can hop, see if you can get a little bit of air time. So my hands are about 1.5 hands distance away from the wall. So you're hopping up. And then maybe you can bring the feet all the way to the wall. Only if your arms feel like that's a good idea. And only if, perhaps if you've got a friend to help spot you. But I just wanted to show you that from downward dog and then to bringing legs onto the chair and then doing bunny hops and then maybe getting the legs all the way up, it is possible to have some fun on a Friday morning and become an upside down tree. So I really, really hope that you've enjoyed this session today. Hopefully it's invigorated you and made you feel really good and ready for the day. Thank you, everyone. Oh, and I wanted to say as well that if you have managed to take the challenge doing 5 days in a row of yoga, so following these videos for 5 days, please let me know and let me know how you get on, because it'd be really, really nice to hear, especially if you've managed to fit it into your morning routine, because I think for me that was the hardest thing, but it's given me the most benefits. So it is really hard to get up and just do it, but when you do it, you do feel much better for the rest of the day. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, put on lots and lots of comments, and I'll see you guys back here on the channel very soon. Bye.